Hi everyone, this is Lieutenant Governor of the State of New York, Kathy Hochul. First of all, what's a Lieutenant Governor? You're saying, I never heard of a Lieutenant Governor. That's okay, most people haven't. I'm a Lieutenant Governor, which is the number 2 person in the state. You know we have a governor, Governor Andy Cuomo, and I am the next person down. So there's the governor, Governor Cuomo, your Lieutenant Governor, Kathy Hochul. It's kind of like a vice president number 2, but I have a great relationship with our governor, and we're going through some tough times right now. And I know it's very unusual for you to be not in school, and it's spring starting to kick in. You're wondering what's going to happen for the rest of the year. So I was going to tell you, you know what? Let the adults worry about this. You're going to be okay. A lot of people are figuring all this out. Your governor and I are out there taking care of the situation with this coronavirus you're all hearing about. And someday you're going to look back and say, you know what? That was really a crazy time that I wasn't in school. But in the meantime, I want to make sure that you're still learning a lot of things. Don't let your brain go to sleep during this time. This is not a long snow day. We need you to keep learning. And part of that is reading books. Books are like food for your mind. You can get really smart during this time. So just like we want you to do during summer vacations, be sure that you're reading books on your own, with your family, with your caregivers, and make sure that you keep getting smarter. And so I want to share a book with you that's one of my favorite books because it talks about voting. How do I get to be Lieutenant Governor? People vote for me. People show up on election day and they vote for myself over another person, and that's what democracy is all about. We've always done it in our country, and it works great. That's how we elect our president, our governor, our lieutenant governor, all the way on down to your local officials. So voting's important. And I know you're not old enough to vote yet, but this book's going to tell you how young people just like you can get involved in supporting our country, helping the United States of America and your state of New York, even while you're young. So let's get started with our book, Vote for Our Future. And there's some great pictures in here too. First of all, this is a school which you haven't seen much of lately, I know that. So let's take a look at this nice school. Every 2 years, on the Tuesday after the first Monday in November, now it sounds a little complicated, the first Tuesday in November, so it's a long way off, that's the day this school here, Stanton Elementary, they close for the day. Why are they closing on this one day in November? Let's find out. Looks like a lot of fun kids go to school there though. Do they close for repairs? No. Do they close for a holiday? Do they close for vacation? No. No way. They close for election day. And we turned the school into a polling station. What's a polling station? Are you thinking, is that like a train station? Is it like a bus station? What's a polling station? A polling station is simply where people vote. Okay? Look at all these kids walking in and saying, oh, this is the room. They use this big auditorium and they set up machines in there. The reason people vote is to decide who makes the laws that run our country and our state. Well, we should all vote, says LaToya. We should all vote to decide who's going to make the future better. The kids are saying, well, we all should do that, right? Well, we can't vote until we're 18, said Lizzie. Lizzie knew. She knows the rules. So what can we do? The kids of Stanton Elementary thought about this, and they started to do some research. They looked in books at the library. They made some notes. Look at him chewing on his pencil there. Don't be eating your pencil there, buddy. They went online and found all kinds of information. Okay, so they're like, what's this all about? They even took a trip to their local election office and picked up the forms that people use. And I can't wait till I can vote for real, said Amal. He's excited about this. Me either, said everybody else. Because we, the kids, have to live with the adult choices. So we want to be the ones making these decisions. The kids at Stanton Elementary were ready to spread the word. They were excited about this. Here's what they did. Caddy and her mom made flyers and handed them out to people. Don't forget to vote, Caddy told one busy dad. Look at this busy dad down here. Looks like he hasn't shaved in a while. Busy dad holding this little baby. He said, I didn't even know there was an election. Now you do, said Caddy. So the kids are out there giving out. Oh, look at this little kitten here. Anybody have a cat or a dog at home? They can kind of keep you company when nobody else is around. That's a cute little kitty there. Not sure why the kitty's there, but that's all right. Can I go with you when you vote? Jasmine asked her big sister. Her big sister must be older than 18, right? And her sister says, it's a pain to vote. I'm not even registered, said her friend. What? They don't even want to vote when they're old enough to? It's not hard to register, said Jasmine. You can do it together, and I will show you how. So here's the younger sister telling her older sister, who's just too busy playing on her device, talking to her friends, who didn't even seem to care about voting. Well, Jasmine got her to change her mind. That's important. Nadia and her auntie went door to door. Voting is a right, said Nadia. She walked to the door, went and talked to everybody. A right that women didn't have 100 years ago. Now, all the girls watching this, here's something I gotta tell you. It's 2020. Women only got the right to vote in the state of New York and in America 100 years ago this year. This is like the birthday, 100-year birthday of women having the opportunity to vote, because before then, they only let the men vote in our country. Very bad. But they finally fixed that, and we're celebrating that 100th anniversary. So remember that when someone says, what's so important about voting? We didn't even have that right as women a long time ago. So we gotta make sure we know it's special. Well, one lady said, I don't like standing in lines, so that's why she wasn't gonna go to the polling place. I don't like standing in lines either, said Nadia's auntie, but we stand in line to go get coffee or snacks, or we stand in line at the movie, or if we go to a bank or at the store. So why wouldn't you stand in line to do something important like picking your leaders? I bet we can stand in line to vote. The lady says, you know what, maybe you're right. Seems like these kids are starting to change people's minds about maybe they should care enough to vote, right? At Jaden's house, the whole family was making their voting plans. Jaden's dad was voting before work. That was his plan. Jaden's mom was voting after work. Okay, they're going to make sure they get out there and vote. They're looking at the voter guide, which probably gives information on the different people running for different positions. And this November, this election coming up, people will be able to vote for the President of the United States, the people who work in our nation's capital, when you see the Capitol building, our Congress members, in some states they're senators. So it's an important election coming up. I've walked into that polling station every election since I could vote, Jaden's great-grandmother told him. But I can't walk so far anymore. Well, a volunteer can drive you, said Jaden. I'll get you set up, said Jaden's mom. So even people that have a little trouble getting around, like our great-grandmas and grandpas, they can still get out and vote. Mia, Noah, and Jamal decided to have a bake sale. Don't forget to vote, Mia said as she handed out the change. Look at, she wrote, be sweet and vote. These look good, don't they? Wish I had some of those. Look at that cupcake right there. There'll be sprinkles on it too. I'll be away on election day, said woman. But Mia said in our state, you can vote early. And in the state of New York, you can vote early. Not just on that one day in November anymore. Your parents can vote even 9 days before the election. That's great. Or you can vote by mail, said Jamal. The voter guide tells you how. In New York, you can vote by mail if you have to be out of the state, or you're sick, or some reason you can't go. So we make it easy. If you can't go in person on that day, you can go earlier, or you can vote by mail if you have an excuse. Listen to this guy. Look at him eating looks like he's got a candy bar or something in his mouth. Voting, what's the big deal, said a teenager. Well, people fought wars, so we have the right to vote, said Mia. That's a big deal. Well, you know, she's absolutely right about that. These are rights and freedoms that people in other countries don't have. That's what's so great about America and the countries that allow the citizens to elect their leaders. Because in some countries, just some big guy stands up and says, I'm your leader, and he might use his army to get that power. We don't do that here in our country. That's not how we were set up. That's why this is so important. Look at this, it's funny. They've got donuts at their sale. Donut, forget to vote. That's kind of funny. Why should I vote, said a sad lady. Nothing ever changes. Besides, one vote won't make a difference. You know what? If everybody said one vote won't make a difference and nobody votes, then we're like those countries that don't have a democracy. We don't want that. Are you kidding, said Jamal. Changes are made every day because people voted. Every vote counts. By the time the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, every kid at Stanton Elementary had spread the word to their families, to their neighbors. Oh, look at this book, it's even bigger. Make sure you can see this. Voters came in early in the morning before the sun was up. They waited in line with their coffee. They rolled in on wheelchairs. They voted for the first time and some for their 50th time. People have been, look at this. Looks like a great party. Well, let's see. And they went with strangers and friends. The whole town was voting. They ran in at the last minute. Look at this. I got to show you this whole thing. I hope you can see this. Look at how big this is. Everybody in the whole town is getting out to vote because of the kids at this school. That's the power that these children had by taking it on their own, not waiting for an adult to tell them, saying, we want to do this for our community. Isn't that great? I love this picture. Let me see if I can close this back up. It's so big here. Okay, there we go. There we go. And after all the votes were counted, the votes were so close, they had to be counted again. That happens. That means so many people voted, and if almost the same number of people want one person and people want the other person, they want to make sure that the results are right, that they're accurate, that it's exactly what the people wanted. So sometimes they have to do a recount. That's okay. We'll get to the right answer. Some people won, and some people lost. This man running for Congress looks like he lost. She looks very happy. She looks like she won. And I've run for elections. I've run for a lot of elections. In my town and in my county, I ran for Congress. I was a member of Congress. I ran for lieutenant governor. So I'm one of those people whose name has been on the ballot, just like your governor, Andrew Cuomo. That's how we get our jobs. Stanton Elementary went back to being a school after Election Day. Look at all those kids. Those kids were so cool. And the future began to change. And I bet every one of them, the day they turn 18, they sign up to vote and they vote in the very next election. So if you have older brothers or sisters who are older in high school and they're turning 18, you remind them and remind your parents and anybody that you know who's over the age of 18 that there are elections throughout the year, not just in November. Sometimes you have to vote in something called a primary, or you vote for school elections. They pop up throughout the year, but everybody who's a good citizen of the United States and a good New Yorker will make sure they get out and vote. Thank you for listening. I hope this broke up your day a little bit. And you know what? Hang in there. We're all going to be okay. We're going to get through this difficult time and let you know that the governor and I are concerned about you. Stay safe. Stay away from other people. Don't be touching anybody around your house or your friends. Make sure that you're smart about this, and that's the way you'll be able to be healthy. Thank you.